All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Jared at 3Cs. We're gonna do a really quick, easy, step-by-step oil change instructions on the new U10 Pro chassis. We're excited. This customer has 500 miles on it. He's probably doing it a little early, so the oil might look really good in here, but oil is cheap insurance. So without wasting any time, let's show you exactly what tools we're using. What we have is we have our oil drain pan. We have a torque wrench because once we remove the drain bolt, and the drain bolt is a 6mm hex head, we always want to torque the drain bolt going back in. This is to help us spin the oil filter off because the new oil filters are a cartridge filter. So if you guys owned CFMOTOs in the past, like a 1000 for example, it was a cartridge, it was internal, where this is now a spin-on external filter. So this tool is going to help us remove the old one. This does take 4 quarts of oil, but just for example, we have a big bin that we use. This is the oil we're putting back in it. This is going to help us divert the oil from the old filter off of the frame rail and into our drain pan. And then the last thing we always want to have is our owner's manual handy. So that's what we need to get the job done. So the first thing we have to do is raise the dump bed, and to do that we're going to initiate key power. So we're just going to hit the start stop button on this chassis. We're not going to put the foot in the brakes, we're not trying to start it. And you will see here is our bed raised. It's a toggle on the dash, and I'm going to go up with it. So I just killed key power, dash is back off, we don't want to leave that on. We just ran this machine outside, we just brought it in here, and so it's been sitting for probably 10 minutes, because in the manual they want you to run the machine. We're going to actually check the oil level first to show you how to check it. So I've got a pretty cool little light, I'm going to stick it right there so we can expose this. So if you come on in, this is our dipstick right here for the oil level. And so I'm going to pull out on the dipstick, and I'm going to have a rag ready here. And I'm going to wipe it clean first, because that's the first step. We can't check it off of that. So now that we have a clean dipstick, we're going to reinsert it. And if you read the instructions, it says you unscrew these dipsticks. They are not screwed in, they're just O-rings on here. So we're going to reinsert it all the way. Once it's inserted, we can now re-pull it back out. And this is when we're actually going to check the oil level. So if you're just curious on your level, maybe I'll keep it under here more because of the light, but it's perfect. It's right where it needs to be. If I pull it out here, my light's not helping, but that's our oil level. And so now we can actually change the oil. So now that we checked the oil, the dipstick has been removed, we're going to show you where the drain bolt is to remove the oil. So we're going to be on the passenger side of the vehicle. We do have a shop lift, but we wanted this to be like an at-home experiment like you guys have to do, right? So we're not going to cheat and use shop tools. This is how easy you can do it at home. So with my gimbal, it's really hard to make it any lower than that, sadly. But if I slide this in here, what you're looking for is right here, this hole. And I'm going to put a picture in here now so you guys can see what I'm looking up at. That's where our drain bolt is. Yeah, that oil looks pretty darn nice, and that's okay. Customer just wanted to make sure it was gonna, like I said, cheap insurance. So here's a drain bolt that came out. It's on that 6mm hex head there, and it has a magnetic top on it, and we barely wiped that off. I kind of wiped it off here. So you can see there's not a lot of debris. So if you have a lot of metal flakes on yours, that's something to be concerned about, because sometimes on new engines there is more than normal, but you can see that's all we got off was those 2 little spots. I'll continue to wipe it off here, but it is magnetic in the middle. This crush washer is in really good shape. Now we do have new ones, so we're going to put a new crush washer on here, and we would recommend that at home too. So that's what the drain bolt looks like. We're just about done draining, and we're going to reinstall this. The first thing we're going to do is wipe around the drain bolt. Now the bottom of this engine on the still picture, you'll see how clean it really is. But we always like to wipe around the drain bolt, make sure there's no debris up in there. Got our new crush washer on there, and Chris is starting it by hand. That way we don't hurt the threads. And once it's started, we're going to attach our torque wrench. And this is 25 Newton meters or 18.5 foot-pounds. So those are your torque settings that we would recommend using. And that's right from the CFMOTO owner's manual. Nice, perfect. So we got our drain pan back under there. We emptied the 4 quarts of oil out of there that came out of the engine. The drain bolt is torqued as you saw. I think we were going to try to use this, but I think we're going to not use that, because if you look down here, here's our oil filter. It is very close to that missing the frame anyway. There's one little frame bar down there. And we did add an oil absorbent rag there on the right hand side. So if it doesn't land over there, we can absorb it up. If not, hopefully we can just catch it straight in that drain pan. It's kind of nice right there. It should be good to go. So we're going to spin that filter off of there. All right, so Chris has got it broken loose, and that thing was snug on there, so it was really tight on there. And so you can see, it's hard to tell, but most of that oil is actually missing the frame. There's a little bit catching that rag there. So we're going to spin that filter the rest of the way off, and we'll show you the new one going on. So we always want to clean that surface too where that oil filter ran on there, but that one is super clean. We're still going to wipe it down, but if you're at home and you got more mud in your machine, you definitely want to clean that really well. We're going to take the sealant, the wrapper off of there, and we always want to add a bead of oil onto your rubber O-ring on here. It just helps that seal instead of getting smushed and ruining that, it lets it slide and make a great seal with the engine case. We always put oil filters back on by hand, so just nice and tight as we can get it by hand, and that's all it needs to be. So interestingly enough, the owner's manual points out that we should be filling the oil back through the dipstick channel, but as you can see, putting 4 quarts through that, it's like a straw. They do have a spot on top of the motor over here that Chris is cleaning now, and it has the oil tag right next to it, so that's where the oil is actually going to go back in, and if we take that off, it's a much bigger port, and so we can put the oil right back in that spot. It's going to go in much easier. It's a much bigger hole there. So Chris is going to put 3.8 quarts in, and we're going to start with that. The owner's manual does say 4 quarts, but we always like to go a little less, and then we'll do the initial start and we'll show you. So I'm going to let Chris put the oil in, and then we're going to restart it, and we'll show you exactly how it looks on the dipstick. That way, if you're at home, you know exactly what we came up with, and it should help you do your oil change as well. Just wanted to show real quick how little oil we actually got on the frame. It's incredible. That's all that happened, was just that. So if you guys are at home and you're wondering if it's going to make a mess, I really don't think it's going to. We'll get that all pulled out, and then we're going to back this whole thing outside here right now, and then that way we can run it for 3 minutes, then show you guys where that oil level actually is on the dipstick. All right, so we had this thing outside. She was running, brought her back in the workshop here. And just remind you guys we put 3.8 in it. So what do we have, Chris? I don't know if this light is helping or hurting. Is it on there? Okay, it's right at that bottom line. So it does need the last 0.2, but we just wanted to make sure, right? So you don't want to overfill it. So right there, so right at that bottom edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up putting that last 0.2 in there, but we just thought for you guys at home, that would be a good thing to know. All right, guys, thanks for following along. Thanks for watching our video. We like to do things really quick, easy, right to the point, show you all the steps so that way you're confident to do it at home. I'm going to do a little link in the bottom of this video. It's going to go right to our website. It's going to show the 3 pages for the owner's manual on this machine. So for the oil section, that is. So if you want to know, if you don't have your owner's manual with you, click on the link. It says configure to 3Cs. Pull up that 1 page. It'll be easy for you guys to review. Last thing is I will put some Amazon links in here if there's anything available. So as oil change kits become available for this, because right now we got to buy the filter and the oil individually. There's not an oil change kit yet for the U10 Pro, but as soon as there is an oil change kit, I'll put that in the link below. It is through Amazon. We do make a small commission. I do have to say that. But if you guys found the video helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel. We would appreciate it. Enjoy the ride. I'll see you on the trail.